Welcome into the CHGO White Sox. Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
Our CHGO White Sox community leader. You can follow him at Ecknerwall23. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow the show at CHGO_White Sox. You're being produced today by Sarah.
Hello.
Hello. She's wearing a very cool Dale Earnhardt t-shirt. Raise hell, praise Dale. I have a very cool Dale Earnhardt phone, Herb, and it's a black body, right? And I got all the stickers for it, but unfortunately, it's from like 1992 when you still had phones that plugged into a wall, and the stickers do not actually stick anymore. They just stuck to the piece of paper, so I can't make the car, but I have it, and the box is cool at least. We're gonna be joined later by CHGO White Sox beat writer Vinnie Duber from Guaranteed Rate Field. We appreciate the like. Hit the thumbs up button if you are watching. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We just had a big Sunday here after a Bears win, a big victory Monday as well, as Alex Brown and Lance Briggs were on the Monday show. They were a part of the CHGO Bears postgame show for the 2-hour show after the Bears win. And then they did Briggs and Brown after with Greg Braggs, Briggs, Brown, Bears. Boom. Very excited.
Alliteration.
About
Killer Bees.
Our Bears coverage and where CHGO and ALLCITY are going. We also just launched a branch in Dallas as well, DLLS. They've had some emergency pods with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. They got a win as well. So very excited about our company. Not excited about the White Sox.
Oof.
They lost number 112 tonight, folks. They did get a win on Sunday, so that's cool.
Congratulations.
Seven runs on Sunday. Didn't do too well on Saturday. Didn't do too well on Friday.
Correct.
So, I don't know. They almost got no hit by Joey Fatone. Perfect game, actually. It was a perfect game until
the seventh, right?
The seventh inning, 2 outs. Our Lord and Savior, Andrew Benintendi, who has an OBP under 300, smacked a seeing eye single into right field. So breaking up Joey Fatone's perfect game big. What is his name?
Cantillo.
Joey Cantillo of the Isle of Hawaii.
Yes. He's from the Cleveland Guardians. Before this, he got absolutely destroyed by other teams. Comes here with his curveball, his changeup, and the White Sox couldn't see him. I think he had 10 strikeouts, too. He was not just out there, getting White Sox to hit the ball early. He was striking them out all day long, and it was embarrassing. This guy who no one's heard of before, and that could be a thing. You don't have a long-time book on him, and he's only pitched, I think, 5 starts in his major league career, so that could be an excuse. But I saw a couple of bats, especially early in the game, where they're ready to be in Cancun. They're ready just to go away, especially Lenny Sosa. Ball's pretty much hitting you on the ground, swings at it. Like, you can't have that type of effort. I understand it's demoralizing to lose your 112th game, but the way you lose and you continue to lose is that you don't care about the at-bats. You give away at-bats. You're looking forward to off time, and you're doing things like this team always does. And I know they don't have a captain necessarily or a steward at the top because Grady Sizemore is just a former player that got thrown into this mess. But I hope that's what Chris Getz is looking for, a person that could right the ship and see players when they're not giving their all and when they're trying to just give away at bats and tell them, come on, bring your ass here. Sit that bench right quick. If you don't want to play, cool, just tell me. That bench can be yours all day long.
I don't get how Luis Robert Jr. would be benched in Baltimore when Lenny Sosa exists and has not been benched. All right. Jacob Amaya has been given the longest rope in the world. And, hey, good for Jake Amaya. I don't think he's done much, though, in his White Sox career. But Cantillo, career high 10 strikeouts. Before this, his high was 5 against the New York Yankees. His inning high was 5 2/3 against the Minnesota Twins. He gets to 7 tonight, throws nearly 100 pitches, strikes out 10 guys, and nearly has a perfect game. Didn't throw the shutout, thanks for Andrew Vaughn driving in Andrew Benintendi. But this team just reeks. And I appreciate PB64 by saying, hey, Ramos is playing well. Or Ramos, hey, Ramos playing well is good. Getz pregame comments, not so much. I'm flummoxed on those. We'll get to the pregame comments when Vinnie Duber joins us from Guaranteed Rate Field. We also have a 10-minute snippet from Getz's comments. We'll have the full video up on our YouTube page. Is it up already, Sarah? Sarah already has it up. So there you go. You can go listen to the full the 22-minute comments. There's a lot in there. I think we got the best 10 for you. Mm-hmm. We have the comments from him about the record setting being surprising. But the baffling thing, PB64, I yelled about it on Friday's show.
Yep. Yeah.
I think on Thursday's show as well.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Ramos did play well. Brian Ramos hit his first career home run tonight. Congratulations, Brian Ramos. Do we have a celebration thing? Do we have give me the DJ air horn. Give me the applause. But come on. Give me the DJ air horn. I see it right there. There you go. Play it again. Brian Ramos drove in 2 of the White Sox run today. Nick Sandlin threw a meatball, a sinker that was up and in and right into Brian Ramos's kitchen. Ramos hits his first career Major League home run. And PB64, Ramos has been playing well. And Ramos was doing very well. His last game in Charlotte, he had a hit, a double. He also had a walk, and he was tearing up in his last 30 games. Like a 292 average, a 5-something slugging. And they let him sit on the bench.
The whole time.
The whole time. He didn't see an at-bat in Boston. Didn't see an at-bat.
Not
Jake Amaya got at-bats. Miguel Vargas got at-bats. Gavin Sheets, your man.
Got a lot of starts.
Your man got at-bats.
Versus lefties, too.
Brian Ramos hadn't played since September 3rd. And before that, he hadn't played since August 31st. The man was cold. The man was ready to play. And they let him sit there on a 111, soon to be 112 loss team. It is stupid how stupid this organization is.
Very much so. And I think you read off some numbers of what he was doing in AAA his last couple of weeks. He was hitting the ball off the cover. And this call up.
Or the cover off the ball.
Cover off the ball. Thank you.
The ball off the cover. Hello.
Sorry. But he was doing what you want him to do down there in AAA. And then you bring him up. And that's the thing I do not like about the White Sox. Like, you bring up a young player that you know that might be part of your future, and then you just sit him on the bench for extended periods of time. I mean, Jacob Maya is playing a lot right now, and he might or might not be the future. I hope, he can glove it, but he can't hit worth a damn. But when he first came up...
So he's Nicky Lopez, too. He's the return of Nicky Lopez.
Nicky Lopez, our highest F4 player this year.
Still
on the team. But what was the use? I know you were pounding the table for Brian Ramos to get starts over Gavin Sheets, which he did today.
Anybody. Yeah, he could have got starts over Vaughn. He could have got starts over Benintendi. Hell, at this point, he got starts over Luis Robert Jr. He is likely the most important position player on the White Sox roster right now. I mean, like, Robert is the most valuable, but it doesn't seem like Robert is a part of the future of the White Sox.
Correct.
Ramos is 22, and likely your best shot at developing a well-rounded major league hitter. He seems to be in a better spot than Vargas. He seems to be in a better spot than Andrew Vaughn, at least younger. Yeah. Why not give him all of the rope in the world? You're giving Jacob Maya 4 to 5 at-bats a game. Why not?
Yeah, I do not disagree with you, but on Friday, I was just warning you that you were like, hey, Gavin Sheets should be gone, and he should be gone. But the White Sox like, hey, man, this is the White Sox. You know they're going to have Gavin Sheets on this team next year, stealing at-bats from people like Brian Ramos. And so this is the baffling thing, that you got a young player like Brian Ramos, who I thought in his first stint acquitted himself pretty well, even though he got hurt and his bat fell off the table at the end of there. I think that Brian Ramos, yes, needs these at-bats at the end of the year and needs to be in the starting lineup tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and each one subsequently, because he is important to your future. You need to know what he can be in the major leagues, and also for the confidence of that young man. You saw how happy he was when he was coming back to the dugout, high five, shaking, like happy as hell, like overjoyed with his first major league home run, as you should be. Imagine he having a good, nice September, going into the offseason saying, you know what, I can play at this level. I just showed for 3 weeks I can. Now I'm going to the offseason. I'm looking forward to my confidence going into a good work ethic, and then me being able to be one of the starting people next year, whether that's at third base, whether that's designated hitter, wherever I need to be, I'll be there. But this is very valuable for Brian Ramos, as you said, a 22-year-old third baseman, to get this time, because Yoel Moncada is not going to be here next year. Miguel Vargas is, but who cares? And Gavin Sheets is going to be Gavin Sheets. And that's a limiting factor. Same thing with Lenny Sosa. He's a 4A player. So at least give Brian Ramos what you have already given Lenny Sosa throughout this whole year. All the playing time, deserved or undeserved.
Chris Getz has some comments about Yoel Moncada. And you know how they used to shoot people out of cannons in cartoons?
Yes.
I feel like if Chris Getz was allowed one ticket that allowed him to shoot one person out of a cannon, he'd pick Yoel Moncada. And you'll see his comments a little later on in our show. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. We got 36 people watching, but only 9 likes. Michael Leroy saying Magic number 17 games to go. They are 8 away from tying the Mets record, the modern-day loss record of 120. They are 9 losses away from securing that record and having it be their own. Can they lose 9 games in the next 17, Herb?
It's going to be tough.
Is it?
But if anybody can do it, it's these 2024 White Sox. They've shown themselves to be the losers that they are. And if you're going to be a loser, be the worst loser or the best loser.
Vinny's probably going to come in and report that they were blasting Beck's loser tonight. I'm a loser, baby.
Why don't kill him.
Well,
just play better players.
Yo, I should know actually the Spanish part, but I don't know.
Soy un perdedor. I'm a loser, baby.
I'm a loser, baby. Now, the Sox have 2 more games against Cleveland. I think they're going to get probably smoked in those 2 games.
And this is the thing, the White Sox, the only team that they've beaten in this AL Central, as much as they've lost to, except for today, is the Cleveland Guardians. So now they're 5-6 versus the Cleveland Guardians. So they win the next 2. They'll win the season series. Do you think they're going to?
Do you think that's going to happen?
No, it's not going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're actually going to get swept by Cleveland.
Do you know?
Do you think they're going to get swept by your Friars?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so
both the Friars need it, and also they're much better than the White Sox.
There's 5 losses right there.
Yeah.
So you just need 4 more.
I mean, the Angels
are probably going to get stomped by Detroit.
They're going out to Anaheim. I mean, those are awesome. Always losses when you go out to Anaheim. 3 out of, I think, 4 games, right? I think 3 games at Anaheim.
3 games at Anaheim.
4 games here. Oh, 3 games here?
Yeah, just 6 games against Anaheim.
All right, so yes, those are 2 out of 3 losses in Anaheim.
And then 3 against Oakland. Very, very fun. All right, hit the thumbs up button.
I'm actually going to Saturday's Oakland game.
Enjoy.
I mean, versus here in Chicago.
I think that could be that. No, that won't be the record setter. But if they lose if they lose 10 straight, including tonight,
I think it'd be in San Diego.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It would be in San Diego.
Imagine if Phillips playing it.
Can you make it? You got any points? You got any like Expedia points or something?
Hey, you know me. If it's an excuse to go to San Diego, I'm there. And I hope CHGO says, hey, you know what? We got an extra $500 to send you out there to San Diego.
Oh, and lucky you. They're going to send you.
Yes.
You know, I'll report here bravely from.
Sorry, Vinny. Sorry, Sean. I'm going. I'm volunteering to do the hard work out there in San Diego. Oh, sorry,
Vinny's the beat writer, though.
Sorry, I didn't make it to the games. You wanted me to go to the games? I just thought you wanted me to be in San Diego when the White Sox set the record. Okay.
Are there things to do in San Diego besides going to the games?
Nothing.
It's probably the best thing to do. It's just like Colorado. The best thing to do is just go to the game.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Gas lamp. Gas lamp?
Yeah.
Is that a bar?
No, that's the section right there. It's like Wrigleyville.
Of the park?
It's right. No, it's like once you walk out of the ballpark, it's the East Village, and then Gaslamp District is right there. It's like the downtown party area.
Our guy Jim Cook is in the chat. He'd probably tell you San Diego's a part of the Midwest. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to let you know about our friends over at Game Time and Leinenkugel. I was shocked to go to GameTime.co and look and see, even though it's a Tuesday night where the White Sox are going to be playing at 6:40, maybe I sneak down the street to the United Center to go see my friends, the National, play at the United Center. You can get tickets for $3.
No way.
$3.
Oh, wow.
It says right here, it's a great deal. It gives me a little star.
You're in the building for $3?
For $3.
Amazing.
2 tickets each. There are 2 tickets, $3 each. I mean, who wouldn't want that?
At the United Center?
At the United Center, folks.
A real-ass band?
A real-ass band.
God damn.
I also think the war on, don't quote me on this, but I also think the war on drugs are playing with them. So you get to see 2 real-ass bands. I know you're like, who the hell are these people?
My favorite band.
Nancy Reagan and the war on drugs.
Oh, I love that band.
They're very great. But Game Time can hook you up. We love Game Time. We love them for not only sports, music, theater, and comedy. Herb loves when he goes to Atlanta and gets the Game Time guarantee where he bought tickets to the game for the White Sox and Braves.
No, it was Braves versus the Marlins.
For the Braves and the Marlins.
Sandy Alcantara got crushed that game.
Saw a better deal for tickets in the same row and section for less on a different site in less than 12 minutes. He got 110% of the difference of his money. So if you are going to go check out our friends, the National, at the United Center, maybe you're going to go see Sabrina Carpenter. Who else would come to I mean, Taylor. Maybe you're going to go see Taylor Swift.
We're going to see Anderson .Paak
Ooh.
On October 4th at the, whatever that place is on the beach. Huntington Beach?
Yeah.
Or
Northern Lee Island.
That one place.
The thing that used to be Miggs Island.
Yeah.
It used to be an airport.
Big field.
Monster Jam is coming up.
Monster Jam.
Riot Fest next week.
Sunday. Ugh.
Riot Fest next Friday and Saturday.
I don't want to go to Douglas Park. I've gone to Douglas Park before. I've done the Riot Fest thing. It's mainly because I don't want to get home from Douglas Park. It's not that the area is fine. The actual park is fine. But like getting home from that is 100 times worse than getting home from Lollapalooza.
I mean, the last 2 times that Courtney's gone to Riot Fest, which I haven't gone, she got me this shirt, weirdly enough, this Malort shirt. And I picked her up each time. And so because of it's so hard to get home from there.
This is also a Game Time ad. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. I saw some other site say that, it's just tickets. The part about Game Time is it's just tickets, and also they're going to help you. They're going to find the best deals for you. I have never spent more than probably 3 minutes on Game Time. When I know what event I want to go to, I get the best deal immediately.
Exactly.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time. When the weather gets warm like it is today, just any beer won't do. You want something light, refreshing, and flavorful. Leinenkugel has flavor for every summer moment. It's the perfect companion for the great outdoors, the great American pastime, or a great night out with friends. Whenever I go to the ballpark, which I said I'm going to go this Saturday, I'm going to grab myself a summer shandy from Leinenkugel because it's summer and it's delicious. But if you want a beer similar to summer shandy that has natural lemonade flavor, you could try the Lakeside Cherry with real cherry juice, or grapefruit shandy with natural white grapefruit flavor, and honey lemon light with 99 calories and a sweet finish, plus classic crowd-pleasing brews like Leinenkugel's Light or Leinie's Original. Flavor every summer moment with Leinenkugel's, the official craft beer of the Chicago White Sox. Go to Leinie.com/CHGO to find delivery options near you. That's LEINIE.com/CHGO. Or pick up Leinenkugel's pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Leinenkugel's, flavor in the moment. Celebrate responsibly. The Jacob Leinenkugel Brewing Company, Chippewa Falls.
Yes.
Mercy.
We have to talk about this team still.
Yeah, we do.
I got to tell you.
Yeah.
I know I was very angered and probably spiteful of Brian Ramos needing to play.
Correct.
And seeing how they did not play him at all this weekend, and the fact that he hit a home run tonight, it really just makes me detach from this team. It's not fun. I know it's my job to be here. I am not a fan. I love this team. I would love to be sitting here telling you about a win. I'd love to be where we were in 2022. I'd love to be sitting here at 81-81. hey, at least we were competitive. At least I could be frustrated by the lineup. Oh, Andrew Benintendi should be 2 spots lower. Like, that would be such a novel argument to be having. But to be screaming about something that seems so clear to any real baseball team, giving a prospect at bats, the fact that I have to scream about it and it doesn't happen just shows how pitiful this organization is. And it shows that we could do all the screaming and yelling that we want, but it's not our baseball team to fuck up. It's their baseball team to fuck up. And you could see how much they are fucking it up consistently. They told us not to swear, right?
They did. Hey, man.
Sorry to those people.
As I said,
hey,
we're covering a 112 loss team out of 145 games. There's going to be a couple F-bombs through. And if you don't like it at 9:56, I am sorry. I am really sorry. This is the wrong show. And I know the people, the higher-ups, like, hey, cuss that. Stop that cussing. I guarantee you, your kids have heard cussing before. And after watching White Sox post-game,
seen our show,
they deserve to hear some cussing. Sorry, kids. My bad. But you're going to hear some damn cussing.
It's just like, what are you supposed to do? Like, they're too busy putting sod on a literal, like, if you go over to that 78 lot, it's just rocks. It's they're putting polish or lipstick on a pig.
Yep.
It is an ugly ass site right now. And they're spending more time laying dirt and sod down and watering that and making it a baseball field to show off on September 16th. More than they're spending actual time on rebuilding the team that's going to set the season and MLB, modern day MLB record of most losses in a season. It just sucks to be a fan. And then Chris Getz is going to come on and lie to you, and he's going to later tell you that Garrett Crochet is a part of our future, and Garrett Crochet, we're going to try our best to make sure that he's, here. Like, that's not going to happen. Bob Nightingale, the White Sox guy, their guy, said for a long time that he is expected to be traded. What do White Sox fans have to look for when their 2 best players on this team are likely going to be traded this offseason?
And then you got to think about who's trading them and how well he's done in his trades. The last trade he made, one of the last trades, brought you Miguel Vargas and 2 19-year-olds. And you traded away one of your best starters, Tommy Pham, and Michael Kopech, who is the reincarnation of Dennis Eckersley out there. So the person that's doing the trading away of these 2 best players, the confidence in him and what he can do to turn those players into something that White Sox fans could look forward to and say, all right, I don't like what they did this losing ass season, but what Chris Getz just did to turn Garrett Crochet into X, Y, and Z players and Luis Robert Jr. into X, Y, and Z players gives me a glimmer of hope that they are on the right track. I have probably like 10% confidence that Chris Getz is going to get this done right. And that's very high.
10% is high.
I
would put it at 0.5. Let's bring Vinnie Duber in. And I don't want to ask him about this game. I guess I kind of do. Because Herb just brought up that he's Dennis Eckersley. Michael Kopech is Dennis Eckersley.
Just sees a great pitcher now.
I get it. But, like, if you put Michael Kopech into 1980s baseball, right? Let's say he was closing out games for the St. Louis Cardinals in the 1986 World Series against the Minnesota Twins. I think that Bob Costas' head would explode seeing a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. Is Emmanuel Clase just 75 pounds heavier than Mariano Rivera? I don't know. Like, the modern-day pitcher blows my mind.
Yeah.
And seeing Clase come in here and just dot 100-mile-per-hour cutters, it really makes me think of, like, what would happen if a 2024 pitcher was subbed into the 1990s. So, Vinny, I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question that is made up. What do you think? Huh, bud? What do you think? Give it your best college try.
I don't think anyone's making any contact. Right?
But like, is it like, I think they would honestly have like 3 pages of newspaper coverage saying like, man is unhittable. The White Sox are going to have to face Ben Joyce in 3 games, about a series or 2, and he throws 106 miles per hour. The White Sox will not make contact that day. They could not make contact against Joey Fatone tonight.
Cantillo.
What did you make of Joey Cantillo's effort tonight, and what did you make of the White Sox effort tonight as they nearly got no hit Vinnie Duber?
I mean, obviously, while the details might be different, it feels like we've all watched this episode of this TV show plenty of times at this point, right? I mean, this is an offense that was not necessarily built to be much better, if any better, than it was last year when it was the worst offense. It is an offense that then has lost a lot of those players. It is an offense that has seen the players that were good get worse. It is an offense that really can't do much of anything on a nightly basis. And yeah, it's baseball, so there's going to be games where they do manage to score some runs. But like I said, we've seen this game before, even if it didn't go exactly the same way. And we were on perfect game watch in the seventh inning from a guy who came into this one with an ERA of almost 8. But this offense, it doesn't really surprise me anymore when you see something like this, because we're 140 some games into the season, and it's kind of been that way all year long.
We've been talking, and Sean, when we had shows last week, Thursday and Friday, was pretty up in arms. Like, why isn't Brian Ramos playing? Didn't play the whole weekend in Boston. Finally gets some tick today and hits his first major league home run. What did Grady had to say about, well, I don't know if he probably talked about why he first got a start today, but what did Brady have to say about that great home run that Brian Ramos showed a little pop there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's any, surprise to the folks who are making the lineups, whether that's Grady Sizemore or anybody else, Chris Getz, whatever. But both the manager and the general manager commented today pretty matter-of-factly about how putting Ramos at DH is a way to get both him and Miguel Vargas, who they want to keep seeing, in the lineup at the same time. And I don't know if that's going to become a daily occurrence or even a consistent one, but Brian Ramos is a guy who could be part of this future for this White Sox, the team that they're trying to build, and playing him as much as you can seems to be a good idea, right? Not necessarily because he's going to help you win games. That doesn't really matter much at this stage in this season, but he's a guy that could be a big part of the team next year and for years to come if everything goes right. So I think everybody's very happy probably to see him homer tonight. He was very happy. He talked about his confidence in himself and coming through with a big hit after not really playing much in the lead up, kind of feeling really good and being a confidence booster. So like I said, he's someone who we're going to keep our eyes on because he's one of the few guys on this roster right now that could be someone who plays a huge role down the road. To have him in there often probably makes a lot of sense to me, but we'll see how things go. At the end of the day, I think he's here very similar for a reason very similar to the one that brought him up in the first place early in the season. He's on the 40-man roster, and when they needed another infielder or needed another bat, you're not going to make a move to kick somebody off of a 40-man roster to bring him to bring a new player in. And I know that sounds silly to everybody, but that's how these things kind of go in terms of roster moves. But listen, he's playing well. He was playing well at AAA. If he does well here and hits, why wouldn't you keep playing him?
Well, and so why did you glean anything from your fellow beat writers on why he didn't play in Boston this weekend? Because I think you made a lot of great points there, Vinny, especially the fact that he should play. And what I noticed this weekend in Boston is that he didn't play. So why is that? Because it really pisses me off. I can't lie.
I don't know, man. I mean, I agree with you, I guess, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense when you've got this guy who you want to play every day. I think I even asked today, Grady, hey, is it detrimental to have a position player not play every day, to kind of come up here and sit, kind of thing? And he said, yeah, if you're a position player, you want to be in there, and that's certainly, he said that timing is everything for these guys, right? And you don't want to really interrupt that. But at the end of the day, a roster's a roster, and it's got to be, like I said, roster moves just got to happen sometimes, and sometimes you're painted into a box to who you are comfortable bringing up. But yeah, I don't disagree with you. I would think they would want to see him as much as they could, especially because he was playing well. If they just brought him up because he's the guy and he wasn't playing well, then sure, fine, that's one thing. But he was on a nice little tear down there in AAA, and to bring him up here just to sit, I mean, that's a bummer. I was going to say it doesn't make any sense, but I did kind of explain why they did it. I don't know if it's a great idea, but I guess you can at least give a reason. But still, I agree with you in that you would think you would want this guy to get every day at bats.
The team sucks. He's on the 26 man. Just play him. I mean, 292, 399, 504 is his slash line in the last 30 games in Charlotte, and it's not even like his major league debut. He's had playing time before, so why not? Herb has a question, but we're going to save it for after the break. We're going to first let you know about our friends over at Sunnyside. Our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary are here to elevate your summer. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from, with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. And wherever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you. They have spots as far south as Champaign and as far north as South Beloit. I went over to Elmwood Park on Friday. It was very nice. Me and the wife, folks, and we went over to Sunnyside, used the code, friends. But then we went to the Garden of Good Eatin'. And if you ever are over in at Elmwood Park, go over to the Garden of Good Eatin' for breakfast. Massive portions, very friendly people. The guy said thank you for coming in, I think 55 times. I clocked him on it. But, a little cannabis run, a little good eats, you really can't beat it.
I got to find out where Elmwood Park is at.
Go check it out. It's in our guy Lawrence's area. But anyway, here for the summer is good news is Tea Time disposable vape, bringing classic lemonade flavor that's perfect for the golf course because we all need a little help staying loose on the green. Go check out the Goobies by Revolution as well. I had a fun time with those over the weekend. You can go visit them at sunnyside.shop for Bright Buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. That's code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, Bright Buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders. HICHGO at checkout for 50% off your first 3 online purchases. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Rugged Road. Maybe you're a camper. Maybe you're a guy that camps. Okay, I have the ad read pulled up. Rugged Road is dedicated to innovation and durable outdoor gear for adventurers who demand the best. Our products are designed with high-quality materials and craftsmanship, ensuring they perform in the toughest conditions. Whether you're on land or water, Rugged Road gear is built to accompany you on every adventure. They have a very unique feature. Rugged Road coolers have the ability to float upright, and you'll never lose a drink. So maybe I'm picturing a guy with probably Vinny's mustache. I've been watching a lot of Parks and Rec, so it's given Ron. But maybe you're a guy like Ron Swanson, and you're fishing, and you got the Rugged Road cooler floating. You got your drink floating upright, right? And then you're putting your catch into the cooler, and then you're taking it back to camp and frying it up on a cast iron or something.
I mean, it could be just Vinny. He likes to hike and camp and stuff like that.
That's true. There you go. And Vinny, now we're just going to imagine Vinny carrying this lightweight cooler. Unlike other heavy-duty coolers, Rugged Road coolers are incredibly light, making them easy to transport on any trip without compromising on performance. So Vinny can lug this around, not even lug it because it's so light. He could put it on his finger and spin it like a basketball and then, carry it uphill. And it's also durable and dependable. It's crafted to handle the toughest environments. Their coolers are built to last, ensuring they keep up with any adventure. Their coolers are guaranteed to keep their contents cool up for 7 days, but oftentimes much longer than that. So gear up for the next adventure with Rugged Road coolers. They're reliable, durable, and built to be used. Rugged Road is your ultimate outdoor companion. Head to ruggedroadoutdoors.com and use code CHGO for 10% off. All right, Herb, we've done enough scrambling. Ask Vinny your question.
Yeah, today I know the final line on Jairo Iriarte looks kind of messed up. But if you watch the game, he walks Stephen Kwan, which a lot of people do. Then he gets the ground ball double play that he needs out of the bat. I forgot who was the bat in second. I think Fry, who hit the ground ball double play. You get the young player, Jacob Maya, who makes an error, firstly, with not fielding the ball correctly to not get the double play. And then when he throws the first, it's not on time. And then he walks a couple more people, and eventually his line is like a third of an inning with 3 walks, with 1 run given up, not earned. So you get the full Jairo Iriarte experience today. Did Grady or Jairo himself talk about what went wrong, what went right? Because his filthy changeup to, was it a Naylor, looked like, okay, I could see it. Like he had the fastball and his changeup working, but he just couldn't find the zone. That's pretty much his problem he had down in Double-A this whole year.
Yeah, I mean, I think you combine him with Nick Nastrini, who also didn't give up too much, but walked what, four guys, I think, in his couple innings of relief work. It's not a good look from the young guys because you got to hit the zone. But I do think that they're up here for a reason. They're up here to get looks. Iriarte has kind of a unique assignment right now where he's going to be used as a one inning reliever, even though he's a starter. But don't walk guys. I mean, I think I say that a little too often, and of course it's easier said than done. But you got two guys here who are, I don't want to use the word auditioning, but they certainly are fighting for playing time next year and perhaps rotation spots on the big league team out of spring training. They might end up in that position come March. You gotta make the best impression that you can, and the best impression includes keeping guys off base like that. Obviously, there's nothing you can do when a infielder boots a ball, but you can't follow that up with two more walks, right? So these guys are young guys, and they've got a lot more of these nights to go. They're not going to be judged on one outing or one inning where things didn't go right. Certainly, Nastrini has piled up a few more of those innings than Iriarte has at the big league level this year, but they want to keep getting a look at these guys, and I think Iriarte should realize, and it's probably the case, that this is a reward being up here late because he did pitch well down in the minor leagues this season, whereas Nick Nastrini, coming out of spring training, was one of the guys and has been very up and down and mostly down, to be honest, if we're talking about the amount of walks that he's given up. So Grady pointed out that Nastrini, that's been kind of a consistent issue, the finding the strike zone, but Iriarte, this is a tough night, and we'll see where he goes the next time he gets out there.
Schuster was labeled as an opener, and I thought that Nastrini would be first out of the bullpen, but we saw De Los Santos and then Iriarte. Can you just explain their thought process of Nastrini not being a starter? Why not just have Nastrini start this game? Why have Schuster open up for Nastrini, and then we see Nastrini come in the sixth inning? Right, because he pitched 3 1/3 or fifth inning or so, because the bases were loaded, which is also weird. Hey, first relief appearance, kid, go out there with the bases loaded. So what's the thought process of Nastrini coming out of the bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they just think it'll serve him a little better. I think the idea is that maybe he was putting a little too much pressure on himself, maybe thinking things through a little too much, and that's maybe what led to a lot of the issues he's had as a starter. You move him to the bullpen, and kind of the idea of get up, get in the game, and go, maybe allows him to dwell on things a little bit less. But as we saw tonight, he went out there, did a good job to get out of that inning with the bases loaded, but then comes in the next inning and walks the first three hitters he faces to put himself in the bases loaded situation again. Grady said pregame that there was really no set plan in terms of like the set plan they do have for Iriarte, which is one inning at a time. I asked him, you see multi-inning, one inning, what do you see? And I don't think there's really any preference. He kind of said it would be a game-by-game thing. He did say after the game that he did not envision putting Nastrini into a game in his first relief outing with the bases loaded. So obviously that didn't go the way he wanted it to, but that's where they were in the game, and that's where they needed an arm. So I'm not sure whether you're going to see Nastrini as an innings guy or a guy to come in and just get an out or go through one inning. Maybe you'll see all of it over the course of the last few weeks of the season. It doesn't sound like they really have a preference, as they do kind of have a strict preference with Iriarte.
Just ask both of you guys, I know it's hard from a guy sitting on a chair here. It's never done it himself to get the ball over the plate. It's 17 inches wide. It's only so high and so low. But is it more a mechanical / physical thing, or is it more of a mental thing that these guys can't get the ball where it needs to be placed? Because you got no hit. Iriarte gave up no hits, but he also walked 3 people and struck out 1.
It's definitely case by case, Herb. I think you've got guys who do overthink things, and they put too much pressure on themselves to squeeze it into that one little box, and they just can't make it happen, right? But then I think you got guys who are brought up because their stuff is so good, the ball moves amazing, but they might not know where it's going, right? And I think you might see pitchers rushed or just quickly moved to the big leagues, to use a less negative term, I guess, quickly moved to the big leagues because a certain aspect of their game is so great, but the other aspect might not be so great, but a team will take a chance because of what it is. And, you have them work with a major league coaching staff and that kind of thing. But these are just examples. And I think that it's probably a case-by-case basis. And if you were to ask Jairo Iriarte what happened tonight in terms of not being able to hit the strike zone, he might give you a different answer than if you ask the same question to Nick Nastrini or the hundreds of other pitchers who have nights like this throughout the season.
Yeah, I think it's truly just maturity. You look at Garrett Crochet, you look at walks per 9, 2020, you could just throw out because it was 6 innings. He didn't walk a single person also because he's sick. 2021, though, 4.5 walks per 9. 2023, 9.2 walks per 9. This year, as a starter, doing something he's never done before, going, pretty much 5 to 6 innings each and every time, 2.1. And this is a guy that consistently attacks the strike zone, consistently is putting himself into a competitive at-bat, trying to put a hitter on their heels. I think it's all about maturity, comfort level, and prove-it factor. And I think Iriarte and Nastrini are up here because they're on a really bad team, and this team's just looking to see what they can get. And I don't know if they really have that edge or even a true goal like Crochet has. I think it's also just a kind of credit to Garrett, just because I think that's a really difficult thing to obtain.
Yes.
And to really put a goal up on a board and then go out and do it like he has.
That'll be a person I wanted to keep around.
Oh, well, that's a great transition into this final question. Vinny, we're going to send you home early so you can get, beat the traffic. There's no traffic. But anyways.
There's 11,000 people there, Sean. Calm down.
Yeah, hey, I think they cleared out pretty quick.
Hey, Monday night on Lakeshore Drive, it's always backed up.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you're going that way. I mean, there's a little bit of a backup.
That's sarcastic. It'll be fine.
I mean, there was construction, and all the people were going on my street instead of Lakeshore Drive late last night. So there might be some delays. So watch yourself.
Drive safe. Anyways, there was 2 comments from Chris Getz today that we'll play in just a second. The first one was about Garrett Crochet. Do you believe him when he says that Garrett is a part of our future, or are you more likely to believe the reports from Bob Nightingale, who has been pretty consistent after the trade deadline, saying the White Sox are looking to trade him this offseason? I think it was pretty surprising to hear Getz's comments today on Crochet.
Yeah, I don't think Getz came out and said he's going to be here. But I think what he did do was leave the possibility open for that. And that in and of itself is something that's probably hard for a lot of folks to believe, given kind of how expected it is that Garrett will be traded this winter. I've brought it up on this show plenty of times. This is a guy who was basically supposed to be traded at the trade deadline, and he wasn't because of a whole bunch of stuff. Questions about how much he could pitch, the whole demanding of the contract extension, and just other questions about health and whether he'd be able to be in the playoffs for a playoff team. None of that stuff's going to exist in the winter, and you're going to see a player who's kind of free of all of that baggage when it comes to teams having these conversations with the White Sox. He's going to pitch 30-something starts. He's going to go out there and complete a starter's workload over the course of an entire season. Not workload, but a starter's routine, a starter's schedule over the course of the season. So all those questions go out the window, and it probably makes it much easier to trade Garrett Crochet, assuming that there's a team out there willing to meet the asking price. I think, it's my opinion that they would be very well served to try to extend Garrett Crochet. This guy looks like a top of the rotation starter. He's young. He likes being here. He looks like somebody who you could build around and have one really big item crossed off of your to-do list, right? And that's go get yourself an ace for your starting rotation. But the White Sox are still rebuilding, and they might be rebuilding for a while. This is a project that could take years. This is a project that seems to be pretty slow moving. Chris Getz might find that the best thing to do still is to try to cash in Garrett Crochet for several young players who can help you for over a much longer period of time. So, I would, Chris Getz, much like Rick Hahn, has done a good job of saying that or creating the possibility that everything is on the table. And I'm sure there is a world in which they make the offer they want to make and Garrett says, okay, but I don't know if those things are actually going to align. And so while, yeah, they probably will have a conversation or two about an extension, who knows how close those two parties are on that number. And so I still think that the most likely outcome is that he's playing somewhere else when the season starts next year.
It's a little sickening that they'll spend more money on caviar on September 16th than they will on Garrett Crochet. Anyways, last thing from me, Vinny, and then if Herb has anything else, he's feel free to follow up. But did you bat any eyes at the surprised question about Chris Getz responding to if he's surprised at all that this team is record-setting bad?
I mean, it's probably not PR 101 to come out and say that you would have been not surprised if your team loses 110 games. I think at the beginning of the season, he probably said what he should have, which is we hope to beat expectations kind of thing. And to, at the end of the year, say, yeah, if we lost 105, 110, maybe I wouldn't be so surprised. Just because you should never be going into the season thinking that. You should always be hopeful that the team you put together can do what you want it to do. The idea that he is surprised that they're as bad as they are, of course, I think we all are, right? I don't think anybody would have expected the worst team of all time, even though the roster was not impressive at the beginning of the season. So to get to that level, I think should surprise everybody. But like I said, probably not what they're teaching in, public relations classes out there when it comes to sports general managers.
Probably not. And also, like, how does your projection have a projection of 110 but not also include like a 118 or something? I don't know. I mean, if your team's going to be bad, 120 I think is always in the question. But anyways, Vinny, that was not your comment. You just held the camera, so we're going to go to your video footage in just a second. You had a piece that was written about this. They can go check that out at allchgo.com. We appreciate Vinny joining us from Guaranteed Rate Field. Go read his work at allchgo.com. Thank you, Vinnie Duber.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Let's head over to our guy, Chris Getz. His first comment that he's answering is about Garrett Crochet and if an extension and Garrett being around for next season is possible.
Well, for one, we're really proud of what Garrett has accomplished as a starter this year. He's been one of the bright spots of baseball, quite honestly. So, it's not a player that we're actively shopping. Obviously, there's a lot of interest in a Garrett Crochet just because what he can do on the mound. And, we'll wrap up this year, get into the off season and kind of go from there. But you look at the long list of arms that we've accumulated both through the draft and trades, and we feel like we're in a pretty healthy spot from a pitching standpoint.
Do you have to look and see, like you've talked about before, about he's a great story, he's had a great year, he's approaching 200 strikeouts in his first year as a starter, but you have him for 2 years of control. If you don't extend him, how does that fit into what you look like as a team?
Sure. I mean, the reality of baseball and where we're at as an organization, you need to look at the types of returns that you can potentially get in trades, and we need to weigh where we're going to be in a year, 2 years, but we also know how talented he is. And he can certainly lead a rotation with the White Sox or anyone else. So we're going to take advantage of what he's capable of doing as a starter. But also, I think it's wise to see, what the market holds for a Garrett Crochet to see if we can improve the White Sox for the future.
Is there an interest
in Luis Robert? Would you say the same thing for Luis? Same situation?
Louis, what he brings to the table, I know this isn't the year that he was hoping to have. He certainly has shown flashes, this year. However, he hasn't been as consistent as he was a year ago. He has brought the defensive, prowess that he brings to the table offensively. I know he's working on being more consistent. We just need to get him back to being Louis Robert. We'll figure out, what's best for Louis and the White Sox later.
So is there any interest in exploring an extension with Garrett this offseason?
We'll have those conversations with Garrett and his team. That he's got every right to play under the contract he currently has, and if he wants to go into free agent to see what he can do, I mean that's his right. He's earning that. But the dialogue's still been very strong with with Garrett and his group, and we'll continue to talk this offseason.
How much did the RSN situation and the economics of baseball all over, all 30 teams, impact some of the moves you have to make with scouts and letting people go and, having to deal with realities of budgets?
Well, every club has their financial restraints, and I think that's the beauty of our game in a way too, where we're talking about different markets throughout the country, and you want to maximize with the resources that you have. I know from an infrastructure standpoint, I've said this from the beginning, so much of our focus is the foundation of the organization, whether that be on the international side, the amateur side, player development, and the various areas that make up an organization. And we're looking for individuals that can do many things, that are very talented, so we can scale the talent that they have and have a far reach, whether it be down at your academy, apply it to every acquisition, the development of our players. So that's really what we're focused on. That's what we've been focused on, and we'll continue to do so.
How soon are you looking to have a new head international in place, and what sort of qualities are you looking for?
Well, we're looking to improve our process. I mean, Marco was here for a year, for years, and he accomplished a lot. And we've got players on our major league club that are a reflection of his work. However, where we are right now, we're in the works of building a new academy. More so focused on the scouting process. It's different than what you'll see on the amateur side. We need to make it a little bit more of a comprehensive approach. So our focus is on building out that process, and the leadership will come once our process is built, and we're going to do that from our front office, and then we'll make a decision from there.
So basically you're saying is people that work with you and moving forward, and guys that are working with you now, might have to wear multiple hats in their job, not just one thing. They might be in charge of more than one, right?
Well, it's not really. We're looking for individuals that can do a lot of different things and understand, what a solid process looks like. And I think that whether we go through a hiring process to have, certain backgrounds and skill sets to make the White Sox better, that's the focus more so than finding individuals that can do a lot of different things. If we're able to come across someone that we feel like can help in various areas, that makes them attractive. But there's different ways to kind of go about this, but it's really about scaling information, and that's something that we're set out to improve.
Is there a bit of Okada? What's going on with him?
He's going to continue rehabbing in Charlotte. He's been responding well, but at this point, it's we want to continue to make sure that he's in a good spot and he feels good about where his body's at before we make a decision on bringing him back.
One more question about Moncada, and that is, you've been very respectful of him and he of the White Sox, but there has to be a underlying feeling of frustration on both parts, right? Where you're at and how this is ending.
Well, you look at, going into this year, we were banking on, Yoan playing third base and being healthy. Now, his body had something different in mind, and it's frustrating that we didn't have that on the field regularly for us, because it would have made us more competitive. But he's in Charlotte right now, and he's healthy now, and we'll just kind of take it from there.
With Ramos, he's young still, but is there a point you want to just kind of give him a long major league runway to see what he can do? And if so, with Vargas, does that involve one or both of them playing different positions at some point down the road?
Yeah, we'll play around with different ideas to get at bats for these guys in the big leagues. Obviously, Miguel Vargas and Brian Ramos are a big part of our future, and we may need to get creative. Tonight we've got Brian that's DH, and we've got Miguel at third base. That's a way to get some playing time there. But most importantly, we want these players to feel like they've accomplished something in a positive manner. And Brian's had a good run at Charlotte here recently. He's going to get some at-bats here tonight, and we'll kind of go from there.
Colson's had a real good run, eight games, I think, maybe more than that. Does that hot streak change your thoughts at all about him coming here for even a short period of time?
You know, we're excited about the adjustments and the freedom in his swing right now. You know, he's driving the ball, he's having good at bats. There seems to be a lot more looseness in his game overall. We're just going to continue to nurture that and kind of go from there.
On a personal level, is it sort of like watching this team, you know, your team sort of come up short like night after night? Is it sort of on a personal level? Is it at all tough for you? And then I guess sort of the follow-up is what gives you the most hope that sort of bright like that sort of you can watch it now and then sort of be more optimistic in the future, and I guess like for fans too?
Sure. No, I mean, I'm a competitor just like the players on the field, and when you don't win ball games, that eats at you. It's hard. And, you know, we've come up short way more often than we would have liked. However, you look at some of the development of these players and the opportunities they're getting right now, you have to find your wins when you're in a rebuild like we are right now. So, you know, the spirit of our players seems very strong, especially in this clubhouse still, regardless of the struggles that they've been faced with from a wins and loss standpoint. I'm really proud of that. In terms of optimism, you look at the farm system, you look at where our pitching is, we look at the potential of what our rotation looks like for next year and years in the future. And we've got guys in the bullpen right now that are getting opportunities and pitching well. So, you know, it looks like we're in a good spot from a balance standpoint, both with starters and relievers. And now it's about, you know, putting some more runs on the board. We've got young prospects that are rising in the minor leagues on the offensive side. Now we'll be able to blend that with the pitching. So, you know, that makes everyone that's working in the organization optimistic, and hopefully our fans can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Do you have a favorite memory from this year? And then also maybe a least favorite memory from this season?
I'd say my favorite memory is you know, making the decision to have Garrett Crochet be a starter this year, and then naming him the opening day starter. And although we came up short on the opener, you know, he showed the organization and certainly baseball what he's capable of doing, and that's certainly the brightest memory. In terms of the memories that perhaps I want to forget, I can't say that there's one that really stands out. I think that there's a lot to learn from for our players and our staff and personally, and all you can really do right now is apply those learnings for the future.
Does it surprise you? Knew you were taking a step back this year with the rebuild. Does it surprise you that it's gone this far back? That you're, you know, looking at possibly 100, you know, a record-setting loss total? How do you analyze that?
Sure. I think if you would have told me we were going to end up flirting with a record, I would have been a little surprised. Now, if you would have told me prior to the year that we would have ended up over 100 losses, 105, 110, I wouldn't have been as surprised. So, you know, but this is the cards that we've been dealt at this point, and you try to make the best of it. And I think it's an opportunity to embrace the situation that we're in. You know, as someone that grew up in Detroit and saw the Tigers in 2003 with 43 wins, and 3 years later, we're in the World Series. So I view it as, you know, kind of the frustrating part of the story, but I also know that the future's, you know, looking bright, and it's going to make it just that much sweeter once we get there.
This sumbitch said the cards they were dealt. Sumbitch, you had the job last year, so you've been dealing the cards, and you're like, if you had 110, I wouldn't be surprised. Shut up. You failed, and the smile all the way throughout. I don't need him to be downtrodden because this is just a job, just like this is just a job for me. But it doesn't seem like he cares necessarily that this is going to be the worst team in baseball history. The worst. Ha ha ha, smiling. Yeah, everything's good. If you wouldn't tell me 110, I wouldn't be surprised. You were like the elephant in the room. The AL Central is winnable. That was last year. You said that. You said you didn't like your team. And you have the reins of that goddamn team. So it's your fault. Cards they were dealt as if he's some passive dude in this whole situation. You're the fucking guy. I'm sorry I can't swear, but you're the guy, Chris. Get out of here, dumbass.
Let's go to the guy before the season. We're going to take a break in just a second, but he said, it's an exciting time for myself and fans. One day before the season started on March 27. The first time for me as a GM on opening day saw a culmination of an offseason plan and spring training objectives. We are really happy with Pedro. He gone! And his staff and what they were able to accomplish. They're gone in that 7-week window. Now getting to opening day where the games mean something is another level of excitement. We have some interesting and exciting arms in the rotation. They're gone. And relievers. They're literally all 9 of them are gone. That are going to put us in a good position to win ball games.
They won 33 of those.
They haven't even
out of 145.
Surpassed the 2020 team. Then you look at our offensive potential. If we can get those players to be who we think they are, we need them to post regularly and play 140 plus games. If we do, I think we will win more games than people believe we can. And that's why he didn't think they would lose more than 110, because he's stupid and he shouldn't have the job because he's dumb and he's stupid and I hate him. We're going to let you know about how you could be a CHGO diehard. You can level up your fandom over at allchgo.com/diehard. We appreciate everyone who hangs out with us in the CHGO lounge that tells us about how much of a diehard they are. They talk about the White Sox. They also talk about every topic under the sun. They talk about Caleb Williams. They talk about the Bulls. They talk about the Hawks. They talk about the Cubs as well. I think there's a WWE chat in there.
There's
a smattering, a smorgasbord of topics to talk about. We also want to thank Michael, Matthias, George, Duncan, Richard, Robert, Stacy, and William for becoming diehards today. You also get exclusive content on allchgo.com. Adam Hogue has Hogue's Things, I believe, his newsletter that comes out for diehards. Will Gottlieb has some really in-depth articles on allchgo.com about doubles, and Vinny has his White Sox weekly newsletter that comes out on Monday. So very excited about what we do over at allchgo.com. And when you are a diehard, you get 20% off to events. We throw a great tailgate every Sunday. The next one isn't until September 29th. That's probably the worst news I have for you. You got to wait 20 days until our next tailgate. But we just threw a fantastic one yesterday. Jake, Chris Pankow, Sarah, Braggs, the whole team.
Emma
did a fantastic job with the tailgate, and we're going to be doing that every single Bears home game. So come out, and it's a great, fantastic time. You get a shirt of your choice when you sign up as well. You also get 20% off merch when you want to purchase them. I'm not wearing any merch today.
Either.
I guess I'm wearing the hat. I like the hat. But we also have the Claws Up shirt. There's also the one with well, it's not his nails, but it's painted nails of a quarterback. That shirt's fun. Do we have the Bears collection one, Sarah? I think that one has the nails one. Oh, it doesn't. Oh yeah, Toughest Nails. Hey, there you go. But yeah, we got some fun, cool Bear stuff, especially the CHGO one. It's like the sweater. So go check that out. CHGOlocker.com. He's just a stupid clown. He's just an idiotic, moronic clown. You wanted the job.
Yes.
Like you said, the elephant in the room is that we're in the bad division. Well, guess what, buddy? All 4 other teams are competing for a playoff spot. Your dumbass and your dumbass team is not. I hate you. I hate the whole organization. I hate the front office. I hate the owner. I hate Roger Bossard, who's over at the 78 watering the damn fucking field.
He's just following directions.
I get it. I can make an off-color, terrible joke.
Yes,
but
I got you.
I
got where you're going.
And it's not Roger's fault. Roger is just trying to take care of the field that has been there in his family's care for like 3 generations. It's not his fault. But like still, I hate Matt Ramsey, the guy who sells split the ticket teams, split the pod teams.
Why do you hate Matt Ramsey?
Just shout out Matt Ramsey. But no, I mean it goes all throughout the White Sox organization. The guy who runs the speed pitch, I hate you. The guy who probably cleans the shower out in left field, I hate you. The guy who's selling the Comiskey dogs, I hate you. The woman that's selling the pulled brisket, I hate you. Chris Getz, I hate you. And Andrew Benintendi.
Oh, you definitely hate him.
I definitely hate him.
But also,
I just bad. I hate this organization, and they're bad, and I hate them.
Now, I know, like, I've had my disagreements with Rick Hahn, and as somebody pointed out on Twitter, Rick Hahn, I think it was Nick Schaefer, pointed out that, yes, Rick Hahn is better than Chris Getz, but he deserved to get fired last year. And Rick Hahn, if you looked at him at the end of his tenure with the White Sox, he looked like he went through it. He looked like he's been losing every single game right alongside you as the fan. Chris Getz looks fresh as hell. Looks happy, chipper. Everything's all good. Man, things are great. And as Jay Corona points out, remember early in the year, Jonathan Striffin's like, oh, we got something for you this year. White Sox going to surprise some folks. Yeah, they surprised some folks of how horrible this organization has been. And I don't know how you get up there, talk to dudes and women for 22 minutes and, like, don't take any culpability. I did this, acting as if you were sitting back and saying, oh, these are the cards that were dealt to me, man. Instead of you going out and getting Paul DeYoung. You going out and getting Nicky Lopez in a trade for Aaron Bummer. You going out and getting all the rest of these people.
You got Jared Schuster, too, that opened the game.
Mike Clevenger. You going out to get all these bad players, as you said. The whole bullpen they started off with the year is gone. All of them. He put this team together. And I don't want to hear all that, Jerry, it does this. That's what we did with Rick. We emphasized or I don't know. He made him a child. We acted infantilized. Thank you. Infantilized Rick Hahn as if he had no power and said that Jerry was the guy you need to blame. Don't do that with this guy. He asked for the job. He talked about this job. And in my heart, he railroaded the two guys who were above him to Jerry and said, oh, I can do this job. And he gave a job to a guy that was well underqualified for the job he has currently. And so if you ask for the job and you get the job, this is on you, not on Jerry. You are the sole baseball decision maker of the Chicago White Sox. This is on your record, not on Jerry's. It's on yours, Chris Getz. So I don't want to see you smiling. I don't want to see you happy with the worst team in baseball history. And yes, you can have a great life, but this is part of your job. And to be smiling, chumming around with the media rubs me the wrong way when you're on this bad of a streak and you got this bad of a team and you have no plan for making this team better in the future. And you're thinking about trading your top of the rotation starter who's 25 years old. I don't want to hear all that stuff.
I am thrilled and excited to just guess the budget number of how much they're actually going to spend on the 2025 team. Someone in the chat asked if they're going to get to 40 wins next year. Will they even get to 30 wins?
Yeah, it's going to be a worse team last year.
How is this going to be better? I mean, hopefully it's better, but there's no guarantee. Like, hopefully they're better.
Who's back?
I mean, even if Davis Martin and Jonathan Cannon are better, you are getting lights out performances from Garrett Crochet and Eric Fetty and losing all of those ball games. No one's back. The who's back are the bad players because everyone's bad and this organization sucks. I want to rescind me saying I hate Roger Bossard. Thought about it. I don't hate everyone in the organization. I hate everyone in the organization besides Roger Bossard and I guess Matt Ramsey. All right. Outside of those two people, I hate everyone in the organization. And Joey Corona is right to bring up John Triffin because, hey, maybe John has woken up to it. Maybe John has realized now what's going on. But John, again, said that we're going to surprise you. We're not going to take that from the Brewers.
The Brewers.
It's just shilling. It is Kurt Schilling of him to go out there and just bleed Jerry Reinsdorf black and blue. Like it's not even bleeding White Sox colors. He's bleeding Jerry Reinsdorf colors. Thank you for giving me this job. I'm going to do everything in my power to make you proud, Jerry Reinsdorf. And he's putting it on as a show that he's trying to win you over, the Chicago fan, but it's just trying to win his boss over. And we all hate his boss. So therefore, I hate you, John Triffin.
And that's state media. It's going to be even more state media when they go over to CHSN.
Boy.
Or John Triffin and whoever's going to be pre and post.
But, like, thank God we have Ozzy. Think honestly, like the thing that's going to be least state media will be the post-game show.
Are they going to have
will
Ozzy?
Be screaming.
Is Ozzy guaranteed to go over there?
I don't know. That's not my news to break. You talked to somebody. I didn't talk to somebody. I wasn't at the golf outing.
Yeah, I'm not at liberty to say yet.
Herbie report. Do we have breaking news?
No.
Do you have a breaking news sounder?
No.
Okay. I mean, CSHN. We'll likely we'll figure it out after the end of the season, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see if something's announced. Anyways, that's going to wrap it. We have the full Chris Getz up on our CHGO Sports YouTube channel. You can watch the entirety of his comments, 22 minutes of Chris Getz talking. That is Herb Lawrence, our CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson, the host of the CHGO White Sox post-game show. Thank you to Sarah for producing the show. Thank you to Vinnie Duber for joining us for Guaranteed Rate Field. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us in the chat. Minidar, who got a shout out earlier, is hanging out with us in the chat. We appreciate all the
38 wins
as well. He predicted 38 wins.
You all optimistic, Minidar, 38 wins. What a ridiculous Minidar.
What an insane comment. Hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us. We'll talk to you tomorrow after the White Sox take on the Guardians. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.